Ladies and gentlemen, it has been officially a year and a day from when Kendrick Lamar dropped the GNX album. And I can say this officially now. I've been saying it quiet, but I can say it. GNX is it's not just a classic album. It's one of Kendrick Lamar's most classic albums. I said it. Oh, yeah. I said it. They're going to be like, what you mean? Well, how you going? Let's talk about it. Let's really, really talk about it. First of all, this is my, Gloria t-shirt I got from the GNX tour. I went to one of the LA dates, and then I went to one of the Vegas dates. Shout out to Punch. But I didn't want to be somebody that was caught up too early and be like, oh, this is I knew it was a classic album, and let me explain why, right? When I think of a classic album, I don't just think of the work that, like, the actual product, just the album, the music in it, right? That's one of the biggest factors. But classic really goes, in my opinion, to a lot of other things. It goes cultural impact. How much of a chokehold did this have on the culture, the people? And how big of a project, how much did this reverberate? And you have to, that means everything around the time of an album makes that album classic. So when you think of the classic albums we have and what was going, there was things going on in hip hop that went in with the stories of that. Illmatic, the brand new Live from the Barbecue, who's this guy? It wasn't just the raps, it was everything around it. The Reasonable Doubts, the Get Rich or Die Trying, who's this 50 Cent? There's a lot, every album, and you cannot separate what happened during this battle, the whole hip hop civil war and everything encompassing in it is a part of GNX. You could almost look at it as a GNX rollout, and that's why Kendrick is a genius, because had he not dropped the project, then there would be no home for this battle. But Kendrick harnessed the energy, harnessed everything that was going on and put it into a project. So even though Not Like Us isn't on GNX, it's a part of the GNX era. The GNX era to me is one of Kendrick's most classic. And then people be like, well, what do you mean? What about? My argument is Good Kid, Mad City, and GNX. Because people, and when it comes to my favorite Kendrick album, the best, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying his most impactful classic. Because you can look at like, damn, and be like, but look at how much it sold. Look at the Rihanna features. Yes, yes, yes. But I'm telling you, the cultural impact that GNX had is almost like no other. The only reason I say Good Kid, Mad City, because I remember that was like, who is this guy? Who is this? But like somehow he reinvented it to almost be like, who is this guy again through GNX? So the Super Bowl goes into the GNX. The Grammys goes into the GNX. We have now things that people say all the time. The mustard, all the different things that come from the GNX album. It damn near has changed vocabulary of people. I see way more people saying whooping feet ever since GNX dropped. I see way more people saying squabble up ever since the GNX album dropped. But let's look at beyond just the feeling, the cultural feeling. Let's actually talk about some of the accolades of GNX a year later. To go back to my theory that GNX is not just a classic album. I think it's gonna go down as one of Kendrick's most classic albums. And let's just go statistically for a second. Hold on. Because also, the biggest rap battle in history being attached to GNX, the whacked out murals moment, the Snoop Dogg edibles moment. There's mad moments from GNX, Gloria, Luther. You know how many people I see saying, I deserve it all. Like, there's albums that have been dropped that were big, huge, impacted, but just didn't, like, he stained the culture with this. Like, there's no leaving it. It's scarred in a good way. So let's just go back to the numbers. Let's go back to the statistics. So shout out to Kendrick's Aura, which is a Kendrick update page. Today, last year, they posted this yesterday. People on this app said GNX wasn't gonna be good because he had underground artists. Boy, has some of y'all takes aged. Oh my God. The fact he didn't put Not Like Us on this and it still did the numbers. Come on, brother. Come on, brother. No deluxe. Boy just randomly dropped that snippet, Bodies, and then just pretend like he was going to drop it. Didn't perform at the Super Bowl. Didn't care. Okay, so let's look at what it's done. 319,000 sold first week on a surprise album. Nutty. 2 times platinum eligibility already. Insane. 3.8 billion streams on Spotify alone. Lord have mercy. Multiple number 1 hit singles. Highest selling rap album of 2025. Most streamed rap album of 2025. Wait. Kendrick dropped this in 2024. And GNX is still the highest selling album of 2025 and the most streamed album. And I'm just going off of what they say. So I'm going to just assume they're right because I'm assuming they did their research. Wow. Wow. I remember when people were acting like, yeah, GNX did it. I don't know. It didn't have a rollout. So all songs eligible for gold or higher. Crazy. 7 Grammy nominations on GNX. So we're minusing the squad. GNX to me is one of the most classic albums because if you really even think of the era that Good Kid, Mad City came out, there was still that was still pre like when streaming blew up. That was still when people I know people who had physical copies of Section 80. I remember that. Like that was still a thing, right? So the fact that GNX is still going this crazy, is still the highest selling album, is just letting you know that people are still eating this up. Crazy. So, first rap album to have all songs chart for 3 weeks. Wow, didn't even know that. Luther is still the longest running number 1 song by a rapper this decade. Numbers wise, I'm out of here. You're not creeping up. Fastest rap album to earn 2 billion streams on Spotify this decade. Jeez. Most weeks spent at number 1 on Billboard rap album charts. Generated highest grossing hip hop tour in history. Kendrick has a lot of albums. The amount of history, because like I said, I count the rollout for GNX from like that. The GNX era is from like that to essentially the Grammys. Like when he went, like, actually, I can make the argument that it's still the GNX era, but Kendrick is kind of like quiet more now, just doing tours and doing shows and stuff like that. But like the amount of records he broke in this, not just like records for himself, but records for the entire genre. I have to keep arguing that this, and then when people go, well, it's not all about the accolades and the numbers. Yeah, but the music adds with it. I'm still listening to GNX all the time. That's going to my gym workout. Huh? So, speaking of GNX, something that people were saying was, oh, Kendrick don't put on to people. He didn't help a lot of people. Well, let's go to 2 artists that had something opposite of that to say, right? So Hitta J3, shout out to Hitta Man, that's the homie, who was on GNX, was one of those artists who, since GNX, his feature, I can myself see his entire, the one up here, his whole thing done changed. He went up with that, right? So Hitta J3, he was featured on the cover of To Pimp a Butterfly. You feel me? That's Hitta right there, Hitta Man. Yeah, he's the one on the GNX song. It's Hitta Man. You know, he's sliding out with the minivan. You had to dig it. So I'm not going to read this whole thing, but I'm going to read some of it. Real definition of who put the West back in front of Ish. True inspiration to not only me, just any kid growing up in a mad city. Proof that you can be from Compton and take it far globally. Keep going, Hitta. Inspiring your loved ones to be great. I love you more than words can express. Proud to see your growth. I've always knew you was the one since the beginning, and to see the progress is a blessing alone. God always had his hands on you. Beyond grateful to share every moment, and it's more to come. Thanks for being a leader, a teacher. People don't know you was once the student who studied the game. Damn. Dog, I'll never forget that Good Kid, Mad City tour date in Nebraska talking to Kendrick. Because I think he's still a student, but he was like, yeah. The love he showed me, and I was just a local artist, let me know, like, yeah, that boy, he a real one. I'll celebrate your success like it's my own. You've been including not only me, but all of us. Say that again, but all of us, and it shows not just talking about you mean everything you do, not just say, hey, to appreciate you for playing a big part in my journey and showing me I could be something other than dead or in jail. Damn. When I wasn't ready, you made me believe I'm capable of doing anything. Tell him Kendrick did it. Happy GNX anniversary. That shit damn near emotional, man. But he ain't helping. And then let's see. I think probably the biggest star to come out of GNX outside of Kendrick is AZ. And I see AZ had that new song come out. If y'all want me to react to it, react to AZ's new song in the comments. But another person that I've seen actually even more than his career just take off after GNX is AZ Chisel. It's Chuck E. Cheese. Surprise, it's that boy Chuck E. Cheese, bro. Huh? So this is what he said, and then we'll end the video here. Was debating on if I should make this post. Shout out to Kendrick Lyrics, by the way. But honestly, who better than me, right? 1 year ago, this man and album changed my life and introduced me to a lot for the first time. To y'all for the first time. And remember, he also brought AZ out on stage, too. I don't know where to start for real. I could go down the list of all the accomplishments and brand deals I've obtained in only a year. But I think the point of this post is to point out the impact this album and person has had on my life and me as a human being. Bruh, you know you hit somebody on a different level when they get to talking about you like this. These is whole gangsters. Man. These is so, and I love seeing that, and that's why Kendrick is my favorite because, and that's why the whole Kendrick is a hypocrite argument I hate. I hate it on both sides. I hate the part where the people are trying to eviscerate him because he's a hypocrite. And then I also hate the people who try to act like he's not a hypocrite. The point of loving Kendrick Lamar is to love him because he's a hypocrite. Because you know who I keep saying this because Pac, that's the same thing with Pac. That's the same thing to give the real human experience. You have to both be the hero in the story, and then you have to also be the villain in the story, because no matter how good of a person you think you are, no matter how high on your high horse, no matter how much of a non-hypocrite you think you are the villain in somebody's story, believe it or not. You. So instead of trying to act like somebody is unfallible or a deity, go, no. Do you think him doing a song with Playboi Carti is hypocritical? Do you think him doing a song with Kodak's hypocritical? Cool. But that's fine. That's fine. You like the song or not? He's embracing people with flaws to hopefully try to change them. And that's exactly what Hitta was saying. Hitta said, my options were death or jail. And you embraced me when other people would have thought I was just some street trash to throw away. And you gave me another option. So that helps the community more. Because without Kendrick, he might be breaking in your window right now. That's what I said, brother. That's what I said. The argument of who's a hypocrite, he is a hypocrite. But that's why I like him. Because I'm a hypocrite. Because you're a hypocrite. Facts. He's not engaging in the things. It's like not even to get to this whole, because I hate when people, it's more the like, and I don't even look at myself as a super religious person, but if you like believe in religion, you believe in the story of Jesus and God, Jesus was hanging out with prostitutes, man. He was hanging out with so it's like, and I'm not saying he's Jesus, but I'm saying like, if you're a religious person, you should be championing that. Even if you don't like the person he with, you should go, hopefully he can help him. Now, if Kendrick indulges in some bad stuff, then you attack him. That's it. Anyway, helping find who I am. But I think helping find who I am as a man artist, pushing my limits, creating a new me, proudly, no matter who sees it or likes it, a better me for me, my family, and my team. Also, as far as stepping up and filling big shoes, it being very evident that I've done it and more. Personally, I can keep going, but as I write this on stage before soundcheck at Camp Flogna, I just want to say thank you to the person, the man, the myth, the legend, Kendrick Lamar. Like a lot of people are, lists that stayed on the accolades and their videos are all about, look at how much numbers, look at the awards. I talked about it too, but the most important thing was that is AZ Chike's message and Hitta J3's message. And like I said, this album to me is arguably Kendrick's most impactful album and maybe his most classic. And I know even more time's gonna have to go by because Good Kid, Mad City is still up there for me because that first time you never can recreate that first high. You're always chasing that. But like what he did with this, bro, I can make the argument that the world is different after GNX. But that might be for a different video.